we go. Welcome to April's Provider Panel Night. Are you guys so excited? You should be, right? You should be. You know why? Number one, because you are here. Number two, because we have got Dave, we've got Grant, we've got Joelle, and hopefully I can put some sort of positive input somewhere in there. But more than anything, you've got each other, we've got each other, and that's why we're here. So that we can just kind of muse. We can muse over some things, we can connect over some things. Um, oh, he got the name of it. Hoolist is the name of the vagus nerve thing. Okay, cool. Note that, you guys. That you'll have to let us know how that is working out for you, Nick. That's really cool. Keep us updated.
Well,
I like it. Um, I want to start out with gratitude. That's my favorite because it gets us on kind of that higher vibration and helps us to kind of feel a little bit more positive going into this. I don't want it to negate anyone that's maybe coming with some things that, oh, I hope that we can talk about this. Please. I did have someone submit a question already. So I was really excited about that. So we've got a question to work on right out the gate, but I do want to look at some gratitude first. Please know you guys are always welcome to email me any questions, anything you're like, hey, I really want to learn more about this. I really want to understand more about this. Can we have a presentation on this? Like, let me know any topics or any questions, anything that we want to bring up in this or on other presentations that we do, because I can let other providers know, hey, can you talk about this? And our providers are amazing. They can accommodate. So let me know. Don't be afraid to reach out. So let's start with gratitude. Joelle, will you start us out with gratitude, my sweet friend? You guys
Yes,
are with Joelle. She's one of my besties.
yes. I love and I'm grateful for her, but I'm grateful for the bridge and for after.
Mm, I like that. I think
Yeah,
both,
I like this connection.
yeah, I think that everyone would agree that they're grateful that you are on both.
Oh, thank you.
Lots of heads nodding. So
Thank you.
every feelings are mutual there, Joelle. Thank you. Who else? Does someone want to go next? Kimmy says she's grateful for Dr. Tate. I am also grateful for Dr. Tate. Who's grateful for Dr. Tate? He's pretty much the bomb, right? He's kind of all of our Zen master, if you guys realize that. He's been at the bridge as long as Darren's been at the bridge.
well,
So he's kind of an OG for sure. So,
his son is a very talented musician.
really?
Yeah, I listen to some of his stuff online.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That makes Dr. Tate even cooler, as if he couldn't get any cooler. Celeste, will you please start us out next?
I I will. Thank you. So today is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Celeste, fellow Aries.
Thank you. Yes, we love the Aries, right? I
I
am really grateful to have a birthday that I really enjoy. And I was not in a good place at the first of the year. And honestly, I'm just grateful to be celebrating a birthday. My daughter is here from Montana, and we had a spa day today, which was lovely.
that is
But I never realized how grateful I was for Joelle until I had a massage for somebody else. It's not the same.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, agreed. Celeste, we're very grateful that you're here too for your birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, that you're here, you're existing, you're living and breathing. We love that. We're so grateful.
Thank you. And in a
Still have
much
an
better place
aftercare
for
with
sure.
me. You still have an
I
aftercare with me. You
know.
just gotta text me
Okay.
so
Get
when you
on,
want it.
All
get
right.
on. All
Thanks,
right, who's
Joelle.
next?
You're welcome.
Someone else want to volunteer before I start calling people out?
I'll go.
Please go.
So, since I've been back, I've had, I think, 7 or 8 rounds of golf.
Ooh.
And it's something that we never really touched upon, but golf is a place where I experiment with profanity. Um, and how far I can throw a club and make everyone else completely uncomfortable with my temper tantrum. I have not had a bad round, and I'm not talking about my golf playing at all. That's not what I mean. I have enjoyed playing golf thoroughly. I have not gotten angry one time. I can't even believe it myself.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like miraculous. Yeah.
Done. And even if you kind of had, maybe that's just a good release, whatever.
Now I notice my playing partner what a jerk he really is. I'm just kidding.
Nick, that's wonderful. That's a great thing to be grateful for. Thank you for
Very happy about that.
yeah. Who else?
I'm
Who
grateful for stormy weather. That's what we've got here today, where it's kind of like they don't know exactly what to expect, so they've had us on a first alert all day. And you'll see the skies get like real dark and then kind of a greenish tint, and then they go back to normal. And it's that constant, like, I feel like there's a different energy in the universe today, and
Ooh,
everyone
kind of
kind of like
mysterious.
enjoys it when that happens.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. That's kind of exciting, maybe. A little bit scary, a little bit exciting, a little bit relaxing, maybe. I don't know. I always get
Yeah.
relaxed when the sky gets gray here because we don't have gray skies very often. So it's like a relaxing thing for me. But that's cool. Thanks,
Feel like
Meg.
people quit focusing on the other stuff in the world and they start like it get like you always talk about weather and the stuff, but like on days like today, people like really talk about the weather and actually care about it. And
Yeah.
it's not
Get
just like
present.
short talk.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. It gets more present with what's actually going on right here, right now with you. Who else? Who's next? Kimmy, what about you?
Um, I'm grateful for to live in St. George and that I found the bridge. I said in the chat, I'm grateful for Dr. Tate. Maybe I shouldn't advertise this, but he made an exception to do an aftercare with me yesterday, and just love that man, his wisdom, his quiet strength, and just the things that the insights that he offers, and yeah, just grateful for that.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for going twice. I appreciate that. I saw
Yeah,
you. I just wanted to hear your voice.
thanks.
Steph, what about you, Steph? Cute Steffi.
Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. I know I've been trying to think of it while also listening to everyone else's gratitude. Because I'm grateful for so many things. Trying to think of what today specifically, but I think I was just talking about the bridge earlier with a coworker at work. And I'm just grateful for all that I've learned and all the people that have helped me. And I'm grateful anytime I can share things I learned there that help others.
Yeah,
And yeah, it just was a whole life changing experience. It's been a year ago.
it's
I got
crazy.
back a year ago, like 2 days ago. It was the year anniversary.
There, it's been a year. Can't believe it.
Yeah, and it's like in some ways it feels like it was just a little bit ago. In other ways, it's like the normal grind of work and life, kind
Mm,
of like. So it's very helpful to have daily, reminders or weekly reminders and refreshers to kind of still stay in that mindset, because once we go into the norm, like into everyday life, a lot of that stuff starts to kind of fall away if you don't practice it and keep up with it. So I am
true.
grateful for these calls every week that help keep that like a priority in my life.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Steph. That was wonderful. All right. Who's next? Rach, we'll put you in the middle this time. Before I've saved you from the end to the first. Now we're just gonna go right in the center.
I was honestly gonna surprise you today and volunteer, so way to
Way to beat you to
yeah.
it.
Um, I'm grateful for my kids.
Mm,
I have um a I have 4 kids, and my youngest is 6 years old, and I I'm just so grateful to be I don't know, to be with their sweet little spirits.
Mhm.
And
Agreed.
I learned so much from them. Um, they're just amazing, and I forget that a lot. And I don't know, they just bring unexpected joy like all the time.
I love that. They do bring joy, and there's little pieces that we don't realize and we take for granted very often. I think most of us can relate to that, whether it's our own kids or just being around little ones that bring good spirit and good blessings to us.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Rach.
Yeah, sorry, I was like, I do not know where my tears come from. It like
We love it.
happens when I talk.
There's no need to
So,
apologize. We love it. Bring on the tears. Don't get a tissue. I like to see them roll, baby. I love it. All right. Awesome. Ash, what about you? I can only see your cute little eyebrows and forehead.
I know. Sorry, I tried to prop up my computer, but I'm laying down.
You're okay. Don't move the eyes.
Um,
Just stay there. We can hear you.
I'm grateful for laying down because it's one of the only positions right now that I am like not in pain with. So, yay for laying down.
There is somewhere that gives you relief.
Yeah, I'm grateful that like it's not all the time that I get relief from it, but like for the most part, and if I lay down long enough, it usually subsides, and I always like am so grateful for that because I know that under some circumstances that like even laying down wouldn't help. So,
So awesome that you noticed that. That's special. That's cool. Thank you, Ash.
yes.
Love it. Gavin, my friend, what are you grateful for, bearded man?
I'm really thankful for my support system, just my friends and family, and uh, yeah, just this week has been really tough, and so being able to lean on them has been like really nice. You know, just to be able to like reach out to my like bridge Zoom group chat, and like my parents have like driven up to see me a few nights, and so it's just been super thankful for them.
Oh, I love it. Support systems are incredible, especially when it's community, when there's a community of it, whether it's family or friends, it doesn't matter. That support is important. I'm glad you're getting that, Gav. Awesome. All right, let's see. Grant, what about you, Grant? What are you thankful for today?
So I did think about, I thought you were going to start with gratitude, right?
Hmm.
So a few minutes before we started, I did think, well, what am I grateful for?
Hmm.
And the first thing that popped into my mind was my toenails.
Really? I want to hear the
Yeah,
story.
but yeah, I'm like, is that just a reason to share that the horse stepped on your foot and ripped off my toenail? Like, kind of and kind of not.
Thanks for
So,
laughing at this.
I tend to go into analogies a lot of times or think deeply about things, and I'm like, that passive aggressive mare stepped on my foot. And is it her fault? Yeah, she does that on purpose sometimes. I swear she does it. I'm not the only one she stepped. And when we step on people's toes, I think that's where it comes from. I think it comes from horses.
Stepping on
And I
toes.
think that it's dominance when someone steps
Metaphorical
on
dominant.
toes.
Hmm.
And it can be passive aggressive. Sometimes we don't realize we do it, but we step on toes.
Yeah.
But guess what? Do I completely blame her? Just go with me on this analogy.
Okay, we're listening.
I think the reason my toenail is like disconnected from my cuticle and why I have so much pain since then, it was Saturday or Sunday. I think that when she stepped on my foot, I pulled back really hard. It
Hmm.
was my natural reaction in the moment.
Hmm.
And so I don't know if I pulled off my toenail or the whole horse pulled off my toenail.
This is a great thought, actually. Is
Is
everyone
it?
getting the depth
Okay.
on this? I'm feeling it, Grant.
Just take a few minutes to go into the
In
analogy. And
Buddhism,
I'm
they
like,
say you
okay,
can't
who
have
is
one
this
without
on?
the
Yeah.
other.
And as a relationship therapist, I'm like, I really have a good relationship with this horse. I mean, she carried me for a few miles, before she stepped on my toe. Maybe she was mad because I got off to take a bio break. And when I took a bio break, honestly, the
Yeah.
two horses took a bio break as well. I'm like,
But
what
they
is,
hadn't given you
we're
permission
all
to do
doing this
yours.
together? What's that?
So they hadn't given you permission.
No, they did not.
Mm-mm.
And I thought, I was upset at the time, and it was very painful when it first happened, and then riding back and trying to keep my foot elevated, and then was okay. And then when I got off, I couldn't walk on it for a minute, but it came back, and it's kind of been painful since. But the memory of the interaction and the physical pain of the interaction has reminded me that I'm grateful for my toenails.
I love
When
it. I think we've
when
all learned a great lesson with this.
I'm tracking with your analogy, but I got bad news for you, man.
Oh no.
That toenail
Oh,
is going to turn into fungus, and you're going to hate it the rest of your life. It's
no.
bad, man. It's bad. I speak from
Trying to be
experience.
You
reminded
go by
that
Nicholas or Nick?
Nick is fine.
Okay, so I love this because I'm going to continue with the analogy. Properly cared for, I am just begging for my toenail to not get an infection and grow a fungus. So I'm trying to still shower, wrap it up. I'm trying to care for it at night. I'm trying to ice it, everything so that I don't have to worry about the long-lasting effects of my small t traumatic experience. If
I'm
you
going
can
to send
apply
you a
it.
picture you're going to hate.
If you do, I'll send you a picture of my feet and I'm going to charge you for it.
Luckily, he's married to a nurse.
there you have it. Yeah, Steph, what were you saying about the Buddhists? Well, you were starting to say something in regards to the
I've been listening to a lot of Alan Watts Buddhism. He's a philosophy professor from the 1940s to the 1970s, but a lot of what he teaches it's like bringing Eastern medicine or Eastern philosophy to Western audience. So I like the way he explains it and stuff. But he talks about how you can't have one without the other, yin and yang. So like whenever there's something, my brain isn't working right now for trying to explain it, but like you're like, I don't know if it's my fault or the horse's fault, or like he talks about relationship dynamics, basically everything. And I'm a scientist, so like basically he's talking about how like we define things as something, but the world in its natural state, like without us like categorizing it and defining it, it just like a lot of things are like relationship dynamics and stuff like that. So like things are defined in relation to other things.
Love it.
So like you couldn't have had that happen without all of the other things happening. But what I was gonna say, for maybe some way to see like the good in it, is because I tend to be negative, so I'm trying to change my brain and be more positive. Or, but at least you didn't break your toe. Like it could have been a lot worse. Like
Oh,
yeah.
I love it.
Boss, I'm going to have to get going.
Okay, we
Get,
love you.
I'll
All right,
get in
dude.
trouble if I'm late. Bye. I hope everyone has a great week.
Come back next week.
I'm gonna absolutely try to be here. It's my goal to get here at 6:30 every day. Sometimes I just get behind, so
That's okay. We
It's
love to
not
have you
personal.
on. Okay, have
Bye.
fun. Bye. All right, Stace, how about you? What are you grateful for, cute Stacy? Oh, you're on mute. Let me have unmute. Did it ask you to unmute? It should give you a message. There you
How'd
go.
that work?
Perfect.
Okay. We have a son and his family who live far away, and we haven't seen them for a year. And we're going to go on Saturday to Charleston and meet them for a week.
Oh, that's
So
fun.
a week on the beach with our kids and grandkids. So we're very grateful. And
That
I
sounds fabulous.
I have some anxiety about traveling, but I'm just really trying to do my deep breathing and think my positive thoughts and grateful thoughts and focus on the positive. So
Okay, well, I'm glad you brought it up because also now all of us can do good vibes, good thoughts, and prayers your way.
thank you.
Have a
Thank you.
wonderful time. That is
Thank you.
something awesome to be grateful for. Thank
Yes.
you for sharing, Stace. Dave, what about you, my friend? What are you grateful for?
Hey, lots of things. I have to go back to what Steph was saying, though, just for a second. There is no darkness without light.
Mm,
That's an example of, right? I think that I don't know that Alan Watts said that, but it's kind of almost Alan Watts-esque.
yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Okay. I am grateful that I have even improved my ability to respond to difficult situations less emotionally and more rationally.
Mm,
Hmm.
I like that, Dave.
Yeah, it's
I like
good.
something that Dave has taught us, you guys, that I'm really trying hard, and you guys have probably heard if you've been on one before, is like when we do our gratitudes, our stuff, if we ever, like, and there's nothing wrong with like listing our blessings or things that we like, but just like Dave just said, like, what am I grateful for that I've done differently, or that, especially since you guys have gone to the bridge, what am I doing differently? How have I progressed in the way I would have normally reacted? Or did I see that this week? Did I see that today? That was an example of that. But I have those days where I'm like, oh my gosh, I did better this time than I usually would have. And seeing
Yeah.
progress
So
in yourself is great.
so it could be like, instead of I'm grateful that I did better at this thing. I mean, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm grateful that I allowed myself to recognize that I did better at this thing.
yeah.
Right. So that's something that we're doing in relationship to. Hmm. Yeah,
In
but
with
the other gratitude, I mean, gratitudes are good. They're
yeah,
just good in general. Hmm.
I love that. Thank you, Dave. All right, we got two left. We got Les. How about you? Are you available to give us a gratitude, hun? Maybe. She's always very wise. Oh, good morning from Japan. What the crap? How awesome. Nihongo de. Yeah. Arigato gozaimasu, right? I won't be able to use audio camera, but I will be active in the chat. I'm grateful for mindfulness breathing. I'm so happy to see you guys. We're happy that you're here all the way from Nihongo de. Thank you for that. That is wonderful. Kiera, what about you, sweetheart?
My gratitude is I've been waiting for the office of a provider to get back to me for over a week on something, and they finally called me back today, so that was exciting.
That is exciting, especially when you're waiting on something that's pretty important to your health, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Wonderful. You guys, thank you. Did I miss anybody? We got everybody, right? Okay. Someone's like, no, she didn't do me, and I don't want her to remember. I think we got everybody. Thank you for being here. I want to dive right into the question that was submitted to me earlier. And it may get pretty deep. So everybody put your thinking caps on and open your hearts. And let's bounce some ideas and thoughts off about this. Here is the question. Okay. I might even need to type it after I say it because it's a big question, but it's really good. Are values, are values intrinsic, or are they something we learn externally and or choose over time given our life experiences? Okay, are values intrinsic?
Intrinsic,
Intrinsic.
intrinsic.
Intrinsic, that's what I meant to say.
Intrinsic means inherent, like ingrained. I think in you, like it's nature versus nurture kind of question. I think, from what I can tell.
Learn. Okay, any thoughts? All right, off the bat, any thoughts? Someone want to jump in? I'm trying to
Both.
type. I'm typing it right now, so you guys
Both.
can look at it because it's big. Who's talking?
Kim, I think they're both.
Yeah.
I love that a therapist didn't give that answer.
Well,
All of the above.
Oh, yeah.
She's a nurse.
Here's the question. Okay. Does a therapist have a thought on this?
I have
And
many thoughts on this. Yes, I
go
have
for it, Dave.
many thoughts. Well, yeah, I like the both idea, and I like. So are they intrinsic or are they learned? They probably both. Yeah. But and so irrespective of whether they are an intrinsic value or something that we have picked up over time in our childhood through life, I would argue that they are felt deeply and are different than just a thought or an idea. Like they're felt deeply. So I think that is what makes them super powerful and really unique and significant drivers for our life. So significant drivers that if we're not often living in accordance with them, we find ourselves out of alignment.
Yeah. I like that. Grant, what's your thought? I have another question off the side of that. Go ahead, Grant.
Well, totally agree with Dave. And you've seen my circles diagram. It's probably the next lecture I'll give again, but values are the closest thing to me. And when he says deep, this is where my mind's going. Values are the closest thing to the core of our being, of who we are. Because sometimes uh we operate from our values subconsciously and without even knowing it. They're just there and they exist. So I'm curious to the question asker if it really matters where values come from. Because we operate from that place anyway. Values still aren't who we are, but they are very close to who we are. And I used to view values as something, I'd say, okay, now I have conflicting values. I would say now they puzzle piece together and we got to figure out which is the priority. And I think we should do it with awareness and do it consciously when we make decisions in accordance with our values. If we just stop and back up and say what value is driving this force. And often for me it's relationships, not relationships. I like what Steffi said, it's not relationships just with other people, but what's your relationship with your car? What's your relationship with the road you're driving on? What's your relationship with any substance? What's your relationships with exercise? And then have that relationship be one of the highest priorities when we're operating from a value system or the most significant puzzle piece. If that makes sense. I know that's kind of deep, but I think values are very close to the core of who we are.
Well, it's a really deep topic. I got so excited when I read it because I thought, oh my gosh, we're gonna have some ideas off of this. Joelle, what's your thoughts, hon?
Well, I like how he says it's in you. And so like it's funny, when people are asking me what's right and what's wrong with my pendulum, I'm like, regardless of what this says, what do you feel right here in your heart? Because if it's a hell yeah, then it's going along with what aligns with you. But if you have that then it's not the best. And I mean, I was even thinking like, there's pain because you could say I don't like exercising, but there's a good pain and a bad pain, and you got to learn to recognize if it is good for you, right? So the values of, is that what I value? And write it down, like put it down on paper so you know who you are, what you need, what you want. And like coming from, let's say, your family teaches what they feel is right. So you can take from that and take what's good, what aligns with you. And then the experiences that you have in life, those are the values you want to keep or to experience. What am I trying to say? Do you know what I mean? So yes, it's both. And that's what a boundary is. Like sometimes you don't know what your boundaries are because you've never experienced someone hitting you. And then you could go, oh, wait, I don't like that. Let's put up a boundary. Nobody hits me ever again. Right?
Yeah. Well, I like the thought too, Joelle, where it was like values are something that drives and motivates, but they're also something that's created through experience, right? Because sometimes we don't know
Right.
what we value until we've experienced something that shows us what we actually value.
What we like.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't know what you like.
So Les in the chat says, from my experience, it phases from my life and how my mindset has changed over time, depending if you are seeking outside validation or learning to nurture yourself, which I think is beautiful. Anyone else have a thought on this? More to say, Grant, you got off of mute.
Beautiful. This ties in so well because boundaries, the way Leslie explained it, the way Joelle explained it, it was really self-driven. Like it's grounding in what I need. It's not, it feels like it trends a little bit to shut people out. Ah, they're toxic. Get them out of my life. I don't think that's what boundaries are. I think it's what do I need to feel grounded, feel healthy, and feel like I'm operating from the core of my being.
What helps your nervous system? What does your nervous system tell you? Right?
Sure.
I love that because a question that I just wrote down while we started this and while Dave was talking, I wrote down, are values connected to our nervous system? Right? Go ahead, Kim.
I was just going to say, and this goes back to something that Dave mentioned last week about writing down what your own personal values are. Because sometimes I think we know or we feel what they are, but if we don't name them, it's a little harder for us to navigate certain things, especially when they're outside of or not in alignment with our values, right? And I think also when you're in relationship, so you have to have your own personal core values, and then when you're in significant relationships, whether that be with your kids, with your partner, what have you, you also need to have kind of some common core values that guide those relationships as well. As a parent, that was one of the things that I learned, because I didn't want my children to get their value based on whether I approved of their decisions or whether somebody else approved of their decisions. I wanted them to get it from their core values, their internal intrinsic, what made them, what was in alignment with them. So
I love that, Kimmy. Steph, what do you got?
Okay, let's see. I don't want to. My brain's all over. It's like a squirrel. There's so much going on in my head right now. But so what I was gonna say is, because I'm thinking about this a lot. I'm coming from a science logic background and stuff, like where I know the genetics and stuff and nature versus nurture. But then as we find more and more science, we're finding that there's a lot that is experience. It's your experiences. There's so many other things. It's not just are your genes on or off. Like, so for the longest time, like even like when I was in middle school or high school, like I was taught something that then I get to college and it's something different. Basically, like left brain versus right brain. You've heard that before, but they're like we actually found in reality it's not like that. Like they communicate. It's not like you're one way or the other. And then just from my own experience, my values have changed drastically over my lifetime. And most of it was due to experiences. So I think that like I grew up in a very Catholic Christian household, like went to Catholic school. My mom was my principal. I was a goody two shoes, straight A student. And then I remember when Obama got elected, I cried. But now I'm so far liberal the other way because I went to college. I um gained more experience than my small town, like rural southern Minnesota, like near the Iowa border, like 20,000 people, So then I go to college and I start experiencing and learning about so many other like different cultures and people. And also being poor will make you not so like, I don't know, like it just was such a drastic change from my upbringing in middle class. And then I'm like, oh crap, my parents have money, I don't have money, so like um I think there's a lot, but I think a lot of it is experiences, like there are some things that are passed on and ingrained, like generational trauma, those sorts of things, which definitely impact. But um at least from my experience, like there's a lot that can change like over your lifetime, and your values can start to shift just from like big experiences.
Yeah, I agree. Your window of perspective, it's like you're given whatever kind of community you were raised in gives us that window of perspective, right? Where we kind of have this core belief piece that's there initially just because of what our surroundings have been. And then throughout life, some of those pieces start to shift and change because of what we're experiencing, which I I think this is a really cool topic, and we did kind of start it last week, so I'm glad that this was kind of how we moved into it this week. And I wonder how many of us have done a list of values lately? Have we listed what we value? What are they? Do they look, do they feel like they've shifted? Do they feel like they're different from where they were? And how do we determine what makes those? Any thoughts?
When I came back, when I was like right out of college, so I turned 40 next year. So I've just made a new vision board. Well, when I was in college at 20, 21, I read the book The Secret, and I made a vision board. So I brought my vision board that I made at the bridge home and hung it up in comparison to what 20 years ago Megan made. Is wildly it is wild how much like I'm the same person but completely different. Like and I think a lot of it gets tied to your values. Like you can definitely tell then I was, a big value for me was like I'm going to be hardworking, and I had things tied to almost a monetary thing, whereas now I'm like everything on mine is like about plants and following your heart and your gut and giving it all away. And it's so I think that for me is where all of this is kind of this whole conversation is reminding me of. And I think we all probably had that, like it was a visual, it was an illustration of how far or how much I've changed in life when I was doing that vision board there. And I come back and I look forward to being able to do that again in a year or two from now and seeing even where I've evolved since then.
And I love that you look at it as an evolution, because really, I mean, that's what we're last week, if you guys were here when we talked with Dave, we talked about kind of being in that middle place, like that. We feel like we're stuck, but we're just in the middle of it. We're kind of in this middle waiting area, which I really appreciated that, because the light bulb that came on for me was life really is just a bunch of middles, right? Like we just get to from one middle waiting room to the next. But if we're doing something like you just explained, Megan, where we're looking at different values over time or different ways, like we were talking with Dave's kind of gratitude of like, what are the progressive pieces within me? What am I seeing? How am I evolving? What did I do today that I had compassion on for self or see reflective of? We're all kind of finding these middle spots, right? And I think often it's that we're stuck on what kind of an end game we can get to, when really life isn't an end game. It's bizarre. Joel, did you have something earlier?
No, I was just gonna say expanding. It's just that's what we're trying to do is help and grow, because like I said, remember how I said like so I meditated for 7 years and now I'm on to facials. It's like just evolving. It's what's needed at the moment, right? So
I love that. Any other thoughts? You guys, this is really cool. I like this discussion.
I have a thought.
Please, Dave.
So it's weird. about all of this. So, when we talk about values, obviously these things are deeply felt. Um, they play a massive role in our relationships and in the progression of our everyday life. But when you sit down, if you haven't done this, even if you have, and and perhaps try to write like 5 of your values, deeply felt values that you believe are really the framework of your life. Okay. It can be really tough to find them. And I think that that's interesting. When I first did this, it was so hard to really drill down to, it's almost like that, those emotion wheels, like you have the emotion wheel, right? And the emotion wheel is this thing that kind of has these colors. So it's almost like a color wheel. And there are all of these shades of different things. So it's not just like, it wouldn't just be anger. It could be irritation that you're feeling, not anger. Or it could be frustration. And there's all these adjacent, like just like the color wheel has all these colors of red, right? Red goes all the way sort of on one side and on the other side, and it becomes all these different colors. Emotions the same way. So if you go to Amazon, Google emotion wheel, right? And then you'll see what I mean. It's really cool. It's a trip. But so it does take time to drill down, but whenever I talk to people about this, it really stops them in their tracks for a minute. And yet, they're that important in our life. They play that prominent of a role in our lives. So it is worth sitting down and thinking through.
Yeah. I love that, Dave. It was so funny because I was starting to write down while you were talking. Ooh, I'm going to bring this up. How do they affect our relationships? Right when you were like, they affect our relationships. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
boom, right? Like our values. And that's where it kind of goes into the whole when I brought up, like, are they connected to our nervous system? I mean, you guys think about what ignites all those fight, flight, flee things. Like Grant and I talk about this. Grant is helping me in just realizing what is causing that. And a lot of those pieces, like, are they connected to your values? If they're sending you into those different spaces, a lot of times maybe there's a value attached. Think about it. What value is being threatened at this point in time? Like what is it that's not mixing well? I have so Les in here. Joelle, did you see Leslie's comment? She says it's like the
Yeah,
analogy Joelle explained to me about our roots in a desert. We need to know about this. What is the roots in the desert analogy?
it's my presentation.
It is?
So I'm not telling you nothing.
Guys, you better be here for Joelle's next presentation because we
Mhm.
understand
I
what
just
it's
have
all
deep
about.
talks with Leslie, so.
Okay, I love it. Dang it, Les, you got the preview before we even learned about it. We're on edge now. Yeah. Grant, will you talk a little bit more about your comment? I like because I know you have a whole system on this, so I appreciate your point of view as well.
Um, the comment that I made to Leslie or the
Yeah,
comment,
with the stress thing,
oh,
in our stress, our values surface. I guess that kind of connects to this nervous system piece I was trying to.
uh, I hope this, yeah, I hope this doesn't take anything away. You need to tune in for Joelle's presentation. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I should tune in for Joelle's presentation.
Yes, you
Like
should.
we watered trees growing up, young trees that were along our dirt road. And my dad said, don't give it too much water because the roots will come to the surface instead of stretching down for the
Mm.
groundwater that exists,
Mhm.
life that exists below the surface. And so to me, that was always a really good analogy of you want the appropriate amount of stress in your life that causes you to dig deep and become your best self for the long term rather than roots that come to the surface and the winds of life blow and you tip over, you die. or your roots, you have a bad year and your roots get baked.
Mm.
I don't know. Does that make sense? See how
Yeah.
I make analogies? Yeah.
Yes, I love it. Steph, what you got? I love that, Grant.
Let's see. Okay. Okay, I haven't fully thought this out yet, but I was thinking about something Tanisha said and Joelle and Dave, just about how things kind of hijack maybe, and like it's tied to our value. If there's something like I think it was Tanisha that said it, something that like um maybe investigate further if it's tied to a value, you know, when you're having like a deep reaction to something. And I was thinking about Alan Watts. I listened to his lectures before bed and at work, and lately he's been talking about, well, he's dead. But lately, the stuff I'm listening to is from the 1940s to the 1970s. But
Listening is what I mean.
well,
Grave.
yes. He's been telling me. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it.
He talks about symbols and how, like, okay, the world in its natural state, it's only a language and humans that identify things and separate them and put them into categories. And then we attach symbols and words to things to help our brains kind of go to that quicker, or like everyone kind of agrees on, okay, this is what a tree is. So it helps us communicate. But also, and this is my own like adding it to it. Alan Watts never said this part, but like also I think that that's kind of what's going on in the world right now, with like the divisiveness or the polar, like I'm thinking about when we use words or certain language or labels, like we already make assumptions about those things when we hear them. And certain words will have like a visceral reaction in you. And that's why I was thinking what Tanisha said, like it's tied to a value if there's something. So like yeah, I struggle in the politics field because I'm very like I do a lot of social justice stuff, but my family votes the other way. So it's like um when there's issues there, I think about, okay, what labels are we using? Like, and then I have to go back kind of to like, it's probably tied to a value when I have some sort of like reaction like that. So that's when I need to dig deeper and look inside and kind of resolve things that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I like that. Well, the thought that's coming up for me when you're saying that is it's so interesting because so many of us can have such a great relationship with certain things, and then other things, just like Dave was saying, like values are so intrinsically tied to relationships. And there are certain things in our relationships that we think it's like, what am I trying to say? So, like you're giving the example stuff like you said, your values lie in something different than your family's values are, right? But the love for your family, I'm assuming, is still there. The relationships for family are still there. So when the values are threatened, we can misinterpret our relationships because the values are different. When it's like instead of going towards the opposite, well, it's because we value different things, so there's something wrong here. It's like, no, go inward. I value this, and that's what's causing the nervous system stimulation, right? So it's still something within me. It's not anything. We can still keep relationships even when values are opposite. And when I go to my appointment with Grant, he'll say, Tanisha, remember what you said. And I'll say, I hate what I said. Don't.
That's where he'll have the boundaries conversation with you. I think
I know.
that's where the boundaries conversation comes in.
Be in both
Probably.
worlds. Anyways, that's what I was tying to it, where it was just like, you know what? It's so much of this we can kind of we can go into introspect and try to help ourselves because, oh, that's a value for me. Their values are different. Can I find that space where it's feeling okay for me? Okay, Grant, without the balance of our non-linguistic world of images, feelings, and sensations, the seduction of words and ideas can keep us from direct experience. Ooh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, basically, and that's saying kind of like when we put symbols to or like language to things, or like um when we name something, then we have all these things that go with it and we assume. So I'm trying to pull back from that and be like, hey, my family, they're human beings and they love me, and kind of ground more in those sorts of things. Like pull back from like the label that I have on them in my brain, because I think it creates a bias already. And like trying to see more the whole picture, or that things are more complex than just a one word label for someone doesn't define their entire being, you know.
I love that. That is so great. Any other thoughts?
I feel like what Grant just said always reminds me of something I say to my husband, and he hates it when I say this, when I'm always like, be about it, don't talk about it. Like, I hate like, when people just talk about doing something, or like, don't just put words to it, like, be about it. Like, I want to feel it, I want to see it, I need it to, like, be something.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool, Meg. I like
Embody it.
yeah.
about it, not talk about, be about it. I'm writing that down. Be about it. Love that. Okay, any other thoughts? This is great, you guys. What a cool discussion. Anyone have, in relation to what we've opened up here, is there anything that is personally hitting for anybody in this area, whether directly or indirectly, that connects with another question or struggle? Any thoughts?
I do. This is Kim.
Hey, Kim, we love it.
I'm struggling with my relationship with my mother. I love my dad. I love them both, but my dad was just recently diagnosed with cancer, and so I've been trying to connect more with him. And I kind of just go back to the values that they taught me. I appreciate and I love, and I know they did the best they can. But my mom, I don't know. So I'm trying to more connect with my dad, but my dad relies a lot on my mom for decisions. I don't know how else to say it, but so I guess I'm just having a hard time with, like, even though there's things from my childhood, I've kind of like I processed a lot of that through my experience going to the bridge and since. Um, what I'm upset or what I'm struggling with my mom right now is the way that it's showing up in my life now. Like, I don't need to go back to the past. I just want to move forward. And I'm just having a hard time with that. I don't know if anyone has any suggestions on how I can just kind of leave that frustration with my mom and still try to connect with my dad and be there for him.
There's the question right there. I love that. Kimmy, thank you for being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Dave, Grant, Joelle?
Well, what is an example of it showing up? What what would that look like when it happens? What does that look like? Like an example of something recently where that whole thing happened.
Okay. So both her and I are nurses, and with me kind of switching careers and trying to build my own service here in St. George, she just hasn't really been interested. Like, she doesn't ask me any questions. I don't know. So I think the root of it is that I still want her approval. I want I still am looking for it, but I don't know that I'll ever get it, maybe. And just the transactional piece of well, if I do this for you, then you deserve this kind of thing. I don't know if that makes any sense, but A lot of it's tied to the Mormon religion, so I don't know if that helps at all.
Do you
Because
think
I'm not practicing and they are. So
do you think her withholding validation is about you or about her?
it's probably about her.
Probably
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
is about her. Yeah. But making that clear delineation is tough, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because it washes into because it isn't that's a bit of a value or a need, which is natural, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that we might have gotten totally off topic.
I love that.
That just
Maybe.
seemed to fit
Yeah,
right there.
I think the values, the tying it back to the conversation, like I do have some intrinsic values that I learned from my parents, which I love and appreciate, and I try to tell them that. But there's differences, right, in beliefs and core values as I've grown into an adult, and um, I guess I'm just kind of struggling with how to navigate all that stuff. So.
Grant, what do you got? I know you've got something. You got that look on your face.
We're out of time. Are you sure?
Yeah, we're out of time.
You check out.
We're gonna leave Kim with something.
Sorry, I opened up a can of worms.
You opened it, Kimmy. That's okay, because guess what? We have another provider panel, so we're gonna remember some of these things. We're gonna hit back on them. So you're
We're gonna come right back to this
tie it
one.
up real good for me, Grant, and then to be continued.
The bow on it, Grant. Dave just gave us the wrapping paper. He wrapped the present. Let's get the bow.
You said it. He did.
He
Oh
did.
my gosh.
Okay.
I love
Yeah,
that,
thank
Dave. I
you.
love where, just to build on what Dave said, because I might have jumped a little. Clinicians are different, but I love how he did that, and I love the silence between. And you probably don't. I don't know. Nice job, Dave. Loved
Yeah,
it.
thanks.
Thanks.
Listen,
Point taken, Dave. Thank you.
the paradox between past and present is what comes to mind.
Yeah.
We respect our elders. We love them. They do great things. They gave us what they gave us. They're not
Paradox.
living in the
Yeah.
present.
Yeah.
It's hard enough for us to live in the present. We're not really living in the present. We have moments of it if we're lucky. And so what does that mean? If you have a Christian background, Jesus said it great. He's like, forgive them. They don't know what they do. They don't know. You can find that in any religion, the same concept. We don't realize what we do to other people. People hurt people, and we also heal people. We don't want to hurt people, and we do hurt people, and it's all back and forth, and it's a big freaking mess. But if you can find, you don't want to hear, I don't know, most people don't want to hear this, but if you can find a space to forgive her for where she's at, it'll be so healing. And that's a cut to the chase. I mean, like, and if it's asking too much, it's asking too much, but
No, I like it. Thank you.
that's what it is.
But it takes, you can take baby steps to get there. You know what I mean? Forgiveness isn't a one and done. Forgiveness is okay, it's a process for me to get there. So have compassion on yourself with it, Kim.
Okay.
Have some compassion on the process and allow yourself the time and space to get to where you need to be as well. So
Okay.
we're here.
Thanks.
We'll check back on the next panel. Next, oh gosh, I should have. I was getting into our discussion and I didn't pull up my thing to look at what we've got for next. Oh god, and I have a new phone and it's gonna make me sign in. Oh no, yes it is. Here it is. Got it, guys. I got it. Joelle, you're next, right?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Yes.
The 22nd, unless you changed it.
So we got a little bit of a peek. Joelle is next week. If you want to know the analogy with the desert, Dave, Grant, you're welcome to join us because I know you're curious. So if you have time, join us. Joelle is amazing. We love to have Joelle on, and she always gives us such cool, practical pieces to look at, and she's just amazing. So thank you for all of your help. Thank you for being vulnerable. We love you, and we will see you next week. Thanks, guys.